Hey guys, welcome back to the AskMario show. This is episode 35. In this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about supplements. So the question came from James, and James is asking, what do you think about supplements beside protein powder? What about creatine, BCAA, maltodextrin, glutamine, also natural stuff like a maca powder or wheatgrass? Thanks so much, James. Thanks for the good question, James. Pretty cool. I'm not really a big supplement guy, right? As you probably heard me talk about supplements in the video I talked about whey protein, where I said that pretty much that most of the supplements out there, they don't even work. So here's a few things that I take, and I guess the few things that I could recommend without, I guess, feeling guilty or tricking you guys into marketing something that is not even proven to work, right? I think omega-3 actually is good, right? I take omega-3 daily. I feel like it does have some studies behind it. You can check a website called examine.com. It actually has a list of all the supplements and all the research studies behind them. So it's a pretty cool website. It's kind of my go-to source. When I'm wondering about a supplement, I'll definitely go to examine.com. I'll check the strength of the studies supporting the claims that the manufacturers put on the bottles and all of that. And definitely there's a lot of different kind of stuff there that come squeeze in somehow, and then once you actually see the real studies, it's either been done only in rats, or it's not even been done, or it's not very strong, right? So some of the stuff you mentioned here, you said creatine. Creatine definitely has proven studies behind it. I mean, there is proof that creatine improves performance in athletes, and I'm personally taking creatine as one of the supplements that I could basically recommend, with saying that it does actually work. And depending on how it's going to work, I mean, that's purely individual. For some of my clients I had in the past, they start taking creatine, it's like bam, instant effect. They can actually feel it. While I'm taking creatine, I don't feel anything, but I'm just taking it because I guess there's nothing to lose really. I might gain a little bit of an edge, maybe like a 1% edge in training or something like that, but I'm willing to pay the price, which is not that high for creatine. And the form that I guess that the research has been tested the most is creatine monohydrate. It's actually also the most affordable one. So if you grab something like that, it's gonna cost you about $8 for 300 grams or something like that, which is just 5 grams per day dose, and it's gonna last you for a very long time. And you can actually test it for yourself and see how it works. For some people, creatine does cause some stomach issues, so keep an eye on that as well. Pick the form that you can tolerate the most and just see if it works for you. As far as the other stuff, you said BCAAs. I don't take BCAAs. I don't think BCAAs are necessary because if you have enough protein from your diet, if you spread out your protein throughout the day in 3 to 4 portions, if you have whey protein as well, BCAA is completely useless in my opinion. It's just a waste of money and it's not effective at all. I mean, protein is protein, BCAAs are BCAAs. Some of you guys may argue that, oh yeah, there are studies proving, I mean, there are studies, you can prove anything you want, but I personally haven't felt absolutely any difference whatsoever from when I went to search whether whey protein is as effective as BCAA. I didn't find any studies proving that BCAA is more effective because of the leucine content than taking just whey protein. So I prefer to basically take one supplement instead of two. As far as the maltodextrin, I haven't really taken that. I don't feel the need for it. I guess with intra-workout stuff or post-workout stuff, some do swear by these carbohydrates, but my workouts don't last longer than an hour and a half usually, so I don't really need to take any intra-workout stuff. You could practically take something like Gatorade if you're kind of feeling low after work, or if you're kind of low willpower or something, you can use that. Just make sure to track it, of course, in your diet and see that it fits your calories and your carb content for the day. Glutamine, completely useless, proven so far it's useless, you don't need to take that. As far as natural stuff like maca powder, well, there are some effects I've noticed on myself. When I did take maca powder, I actually wrote an article about it. There are some effects that last a few weeks, but then as you move on, they start to kind of decline and you kind of get used to it. So I don't feel like it's, I mean, you could cycle it, you could do all this weird stuff, but it also is individual. I mean, I personally haven't felt that much of a difference with maca powder, and I don't think it's worth the trouble. I just don't bother taking it. But if you are the kind of person who kind of wants to experiment all different kind of stuff, I would do recommend checking out maca. Maybe you're gonna get some benefits, but it's not gonna make you a Superman or like some other stuff that is claimed on the internet. Oh yeah, I've just started taking maca powder and my life is suddenly changed. Obviously, that's not gonna make much of a difference. I mean, as far as the other natural stuff you mentioned, wheatgrass, I haven't even tried that. I'm not really, I mean, in general, look, after a while, you realize, being in this industry for about 6 years now, after a while you realize that most of the supplementation out there is bullshit, right? And it's not even worth considering if you have your diet in check, if you have your nutrition dialed down, especially with proper macronutrient ratios and calories. I come back to that all the time, and actually tracking your diet. And it comes more to like avoiding different kinds of stuff like alcohol, cigarettes, like bad environment, junk food, and all of that crap that is making you feel like shit. It's more comes to that than actually taking in more stuff, right? I mean, I'm talking to guys like, oh, they're asking me, oh, should I take maca powder or should I take glutamine or something? And then you ask them, what did you do last weekend? They said, oh, you just got wasted, right? I mean, getting wasted, that's like actually putting poison in your body compared to like trying to add some supplement, which might work, might not work. So it doesn't make much of a difference. In general, as I said, to summarize, I'm not gonna go into a rant against lifestyle and all that. I think I pretty much covered that in many other videos. But as far as supplementation, here's the stuff pretty much what I do recommend. As always, whey protein powder, very convenient, very practical. Second one, omega-3, always have some omega-3 around. I mean, I don't eat fish that often, so I do tend to recommend omega-3 as well for other people. I feel like most of us are not getting enough omega-3, and there are some studies behind it. Creatine, definitely grab something, check it out. It's like less than $10 to try it out. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Fourth one is a multivitamin and a multi-mineral. You can grab some of bodybuilding.com or whatever website you use to shop, or Amazon or something like that. Multivitamins can be useful, although there are some, like, we're not sure yet of how they're effective. So I'll definitely do something like a blood test and check out your levels of vitamins, minerals, or whatever you might be missing, so you kind of know what to supplement instead of supplementing everything, you know, right? So if you're missing like vitamin D3, you should supplement vitamin D3 and not like a whole array of vitamins just because you want to kind of fill in the gaps. Like the whole filling in the gaps thing is not clear as if it's effective. So definitely do some studies. I mean, do some blood work, test out and see what do you have like missing, what's not there, like especially when it comes to minerals. I feel like a lot of people have magnesium deficiencies or zinc deficiencies. Also check out the quality of these multivitamins and all the vitamins you take. I mean, some are less bioavailable, some are more bioavailable. That's very critical when it comes to taking vitamins, because it also depends on how much you need to take, because the dose will change depending on how bioavailable it is, right? As far as the other stuff, I mean, you can give a shot to maca. You can try the stuff like honey goat weed. I mean, it might work for some people don't notice any difference. Stuff like testosterone boosters definitely don't work at all. Other stuff like pre-workouts, I'm not a big fan of pre-workouts. I prefer to drink a cup of green tea. I think there's more benefits to that than actually taking some kind of stimulants, because they are kind of addictive, and I feel like my training quality has a dip after an hour after taking a pre-workout. Unless I take a really strong dose, then I'm kind of burnt out mentally, and then afterwards and during the day I cannot perform properly, right? And there's all these negative effects as well that I feel like on myself might not work, might not be for you, but I'm not a big fan of pre-workouts. Besides that, I really don't have any other supplements to recommend. I would say give a shot to some of the natural stuff, see if you feel any difference. I mean, it's food is food. I mean, protein coming from chicken or like protein coming from quinoa or some other stuff, it's gonna be the same as, I mean, if you have a variety of foods in your diet throughout the day, and if you keep account for your calories and your macros, should be all good. And I hope the answer didn't disappoint you, that I didn't reveal some magic thing that I'm using for the last 5 years that managed to keep me lean and building muscle at the same time. Obviously, if there was something like that, I would be the first one to try it out, but there isn't, except some performance enhancing shit that doesn't, I mean, it's not moral, at least for me, or I don't feel like it's worth even mentioning. I like to keep everything natural, of course. And as always, for this question, that's about it. And thanks, James, for sending it in. If you have a question on this topic, leave it below on this video and just hashtag it AskMario if you have any other additional stuff that you want to discuss. I'll definitely get to it. As always, thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, make sure to click like on the damn video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.